Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Available Work. I'm Joe Esparza here at the Texas Workforce Commission, and I'm with
Bonnie Downs. I'm the
Bonnie.
Director of Programs at the Texas Economic Development Corporation.
That's awesome. Thanks again, Bonnie. This is our next episode. It's October something, and not necessarily in the right order, I guess. We want to kind of pay highlight to one of the bread and butters of our office, and today we have a special guest from the Texas Workforce Commissioners representing employers office. Has a long title, and I get better at saying it every time. We have Elsa Ramos with us.
Woohoo!
Hi,
Hello,
Elsa.
everybody.
Yeah, say hi and
Hello.
tell us who you are, what you do,
Yes,
what's your favorite color.
yellow. My favorite color is yellow. It's very sunny, like my disposition.
Light
Ask
tan.
anybody. My name is Elsa Ramos. I'm an attorney here in the office of basically your office commissioner, the office of the commissioner representing employers at the Texas Workforce Commission. I've been with the agency for about 15 years. January will be my anniversary. Happy anniversary to me. And I'm part of your legal staff. We have 4 staff attorneys here in your office with 3 goals in mind to help employers. So that's advocacy, education, and guidance. And so that is what we do. That is our mission. And that's why I'm here.
That's awesome.
I would also like to add world traveler over here.
Oh, yeah.
It's always traveling.
Trying to see the world.
That's awesome. And like you said, we've got four of our attorneys that are constantly working, and what I think are constantly working for employers, but in general, just for the entire workforce system. And we're going to be bringing our other attorneys in later episodes. And what I'd like to do, and what I'm very excited to do, is share kind of what we keep calling, and I need to figure out a better way to say this. It's our best kept secret. We're trying not to keep this a secret. This is one of the best resources that we can provide for employers. And along with you and Jakku's here in the room here too. He's joining us, but he'll be a guest on later, and he'll have a special or a specific topic. So we're set up as a 3-member commission. Obviously, we represent employers. We're going to talk about a little bit about the resources we provide to employers. Commissioner Trevino obviously represents the labor, and our chairman Daniel. You've seen his videos. If you haven't, get on it. They're great. He represents the public, and as for that 3-member commission, we look at unemployment insurance cases, and I think that's what we want to continue throughout, our podcast catalog, our special topics. And as part of that catalog for our podcast, we want to focus on special topics for training for employers, specifically, and this is kind of our next tool that we're use to bring in employers and engage them with further training, and this combined with webinars and all sorts of stuff. We're just going to be pushing great information out to you.
Yeah, and it's not like you asked me, but I do see this new podcast as part of, meeting those 2 of our 3 mission or, goals that we have basically under the education and guidance. So we already have conferences that our office offers to employers across the state every year to help educate employers. We have our wonderful Texas Guidebook for Employers as a resource that we offer to help educate employers. We have an email and a phone number that employers can use to reach us and speak to us and ask questions. That's under the guidance arm, of our mission. So I see this podcast as kind of fitting in there, education and guidance. So I think it's a really great idea.
Yeah, we take the show on the road, and they're, what was it, 16 to 18?
I think we did 16.
16. So small, medium, large metropolitan areas, a lot of, we do a lot of rural engagement, and some of those, Bonnie, as you were here, are, they're well attended, and a lot of our rural events get packed houses as well. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely. And just another reason why Texas is number 1 for business. We have this team of attorneys here to guide you how to start your own business, how to thrive, how to do it successfully. And not a lot of states have that. And again, that's why we are ahead of the game. And we have these employers or employment law attorneys that you can call and talk to somebody. You're not going to get an answering machine. You're going to actually be able to ask somebody your exact situation or your exact question, and they will guide you through that.
So, yeah, and with Texas having right around 3.2 million small businesses, especially small businesses that don't have a human resource department. They're, the owner's probably doing all of the admin work and the actual business of running business. We provide guidance, and that's
That is correct. And I often say, and I'm not going to name any employers, but the national or international employers don't call us. They don't tend to come to our conferences. They have in-house attorneys, or they have attorneys on retainer, or they have HR professionals handling these things. But small employers, medium employers, they don't have anything like that. So we are a resource for them. And so our conferences, I think, do give them sort of the nuts and bolts of what they need to know. Because if you're an employer out of compliance with state and federal laws, it will cost you. This is one of those situations where ignorance is not bliss. It can cost you, and it affects your bottom line. And you don't want to find out on the receiving end. You want to know this beforehand. So again, our conferences, the book, even this podcast is hopefully going to get those employers that don't have the resources to the level where they at least know enough to ask questions, or where can I go? Again, if we can give them a resource, that's our goal.
Yeah, and she keeps mentioning the book. So we're wanted you, if you're listening to this right now, you can go on to Texas Workforce Commissioner for Employers. Use your Google machine to look up the Texas Guidebook for Employers. We have one of our attorneys who's been here, done that. He literally wrote the book, Tommy Simmons, and we'll bring him on in a later episode. But that's something that you can immediately download for a PDF and start looking and using that template.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's kind of get right into it.
Sure.
So what is unemployment insurance, Elsa?
Unemployment compensation insurance. So I actually had this phone call. This employer called in, and this employer said, I've been in business for 40 years. So this person had been in business with employees for decades. And the next question, he said, can you please explain unemployment to me, how this works, how the unemployment system works? So employers, if you are private for-profit employers, you are taxed by TWC, and you pay unemployment taxes. So this employer had been paying into the system for decades, not understanding what the money was going for, how it affected his business. So employers need to know, like I said, it affects your bottom line. This is a tax that you pay on the wages you pay your employees. You're assigned a tax rate. So we'll keep it very simple. And the way I like to explain it, that in broad strokes, it's just an insurance plan. It's in the name, unemployment insurance compensation. So very quickly, let's compare this to car insurance. This is Texas. We drive everywhere. So you have to have car insurance. You pay your premiums to be covered in case there's a claim against you. So if you're a driver who rear-ends somebody at a stop sign, you don't have to pay out of pocket for the repairs to that person's car if you have insurance, right?
Right.
Correct. Who pays for it? Who pays for the repairs? The insurance company. Okay. But then once there's a claim, what happens to your premium that you've been paying?
Yeah.
What happens?
Premiums go up. Yeah.
It goes up. We all know that. So this is very similar. Remember, employers, I said, if you're a for-profit employer, you get a tax. You're assigned a tax rate on the wages you pay your employees. That's like your premium. That money that all these employers pay goes to a fund that is administered by TWC, the Texas Workforce Commission. And that money is used only for paying unemployment benefits. And this is when someone is out of work through no fault of their own. If you have an employee who is laid off out of work through no fault of their own, you don't pay unemployment benefits to that employee. We get employer questions all the time. Do I have to pay? Do I have to send a check somewhere? Where do I, how do they get their money? How does that happen? That money's already in the fund that your taxes, are used to pay for. Yeah, TWC sends out those payments.
Self-enrolled.
Yeah, you're self-enrolled automatically. TWC sends the payments out to those people who are out of work through no fault of their own, what we call claimants in a claim. But then those benefits can be charged back to this employer. Does that mean you get a bill, employer? Because that sounds super scary. Benefits are charged back to me. They're not. You don't get a bill. Basically, anything that is quote-unquote charged back to the employer is used in the complex mathematical formula that is going to establish the employer's unemployment tax rate for the next 3 years. So stay with me. So just like your premium after a claim, what do you think happens to your tax rate after benefits are charged back to you?
So that's the increase. That's the premium rate.
You're going to see an increase in your tax rate for 3 years.
Okay.
That's how unemployment affects you.
3 years.
Yeah. Any chargebacks now are going to be used for the next 3 years to calculate your tax rate.
Did we talk about the set rate about as far as percentage and what the increase is for the percentage in the 3 years? Does it depends on the
There are a lot of factors that go into that.
we may be getting into really big details
Yeah.
with that. I'm not sure.
I do want to mention one thing else I've seen you speak so many times, and I always love the comparison to other states and the percentages.
Yes, so you want to talk
And
about that. Okay.
talk about, living in another state, owning business, and, the cost of that and what it looks like living and owning a business in Texas compared to another state.
So yes, so for example, I said, hey, employers, you're assigned a tax rate. You apply to the wages you pay your employees. So employers, you know what this is like. And business owners, you know this. Some of your HR folks, or even we get questions from CPAs who handle payroll for employers who don't know how unemployment works. We get questions from attorneys who don't know how this works. So so you're assigned a tax rate that you apply to the employee's wages, but you don't pay taxes on all of the wages in Texas. The tax rate is only applied to the first $9,000 of an employee's wages. So that may sound like a lot, but like Bonnie points out, if you were an employer, for example, in the state of Washington, you would be applying that tax rate to the first $68,500, for example, almost $70,000 of the employee's wages.
Gotcha.
So for some of your employees, you'd be paying the tax on all of their wages. But in Texas, it's only on the first 9. And so that really limits the tax burden on employers in Texas.
Just another reason to
Do
pick
business
up
in
your
Texas.
business and move it to
right.
Texas.
Yeah, and-
Add it to the list.
That's right. And like we said, we want to make this the education part of for employers, so that they avoid that tax burden and that money that eventually the UI money, that pot of money that the government collects is put into different resources, grant programs and things. So we're reinvesting that money. You're an employer paying into the system. Some of that money gets reinvested into the workforce through grant services and other resources.
Yeah, so the taxes that the employers pay into Texas, the fund that is administered by the Texas Workforce Commission, by TWC, those tax dollars are used only to pay unemployment benefits. Again, I'm going to repeat, for people that are out of work through no fault of their own, because a common misconception by employers is that some jobs separate, like people who get fired automatically get benefits. People who quit automatically don't. So let me just clear that up right off here, along with, it's just an insurance plan, so we got that, is that you can get unemployment benefits whether you're fired or whether you quit. It just depends on the circumstances. If you're out of work through no fault of your own, you're going to get unemployment benefits, and that's where the TWC tax dollars go. Employers, sad to say, you also pay a federal unemployment tax. And that is taken from all the states, and the federal government uses that and redistributes that for administration of the system and for grants and for other things to help the workforce in the different states.
Very good.
So if someone's listening to you speak today, Elsa, and they are very interested, want to know, dig in the weeds more about this, how would they get a
'cause
hold of you or find out more information? Where are they going to get this information?
Right, because every employer is saying, ooh, let me learn more about unemployment. I just can't wait. Again, I'm going to say one more time, what you don't know can cost you. So
It's about
please,
money. If
it's about money
yeah.
for a business.
Yes, that's a big deal.
I would rather you spend less on the tax and more in reinvesting into your business, on your employees,
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
on
This
starting.
can cost you.
It will cost you. So knowing how to handle a job separation. So before you take any action on a job separation, reach out to us before you take action that you can't take back. Again, if you're not sure how an unemployment claim is going to affect you, you can reach us via email and you can reach us by phone. So if you're taking this down, you can call us at 1-800-832-9394. I'm going to say that one more time, 800-832-9394. And our office is option 4 on that. You can also call us at 512-463-2826.
We'll have all of our contact information posted on the description details and stuff too. So, but yeah, the unemployment insurance is such a huge part, not only that our office does, but what the agency does, right? And we're involved with our just a tremendous amount of partnership in state government and with our local workforce community solution local workforce community boards that are there. And again, we want this we want this, our messaging and our talking points that we go and to speak when we're ever able to talk to employers is, are you aware of this resource? Are you aware of, what we can help you do? And again, this is your money. This is your money, Texas. This is, our tax dollars going to what I think is probably one of the best things you can get from the government is the guidance that we can provide you too. So, again, I think we will bring you more of these types of topics. So I want to kind of reiterate, unemployment insurance is not only, a huge part of our office, but the agency, and it affects every employer in the state of Texas. So we're going to be bringing more topics, drill down into, what kind of questions we're being asked. And we get a lot of questions daily. You guys are on the phone a lot. So, and just to kind of wrap up, I think just any closing thoughts that we have, Bonnie?
I just want to reiterate to any small or medium-sized business out there, you are not alone. You're not left out there to guess what you're going to do next. I mean, we have a lot of resources for you, and Elsa just mentioned the hotline, and we have an email. I just want to reiterate, you are not alone. Do not do something until you've reached out to us to get some guidance.
Yes. When we talk to employers, and we do talk to thousands of employers throughout the year at our conferences and on the phone, many are surprised at the resources that our office does offer. They are not aware of it. Yeah. They don't know about it until they come to the conference. So we're trying to get the word out. We are here. And to Bonnie's point, and we do say this at the conference, you are not alone.
Yeah.
You do have us. We're a small team, but I like to think of us as mighty, small yet mighty. So reach out to us with questions. We may not always have the answer that you want to hear, but we will provide you the best information that we have.
Yeah, well put. Elsa, thank you so much for joining us. Bonnie, again, thanks for coming over. That's another week of available work, everybody. We hope you have a great rest of the day, rest of your work week, and we'll be back for more.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.